Everybody loves to brag about their spiritual growth. You know the posts, glowing selfies, inspirational quotes, lotus emojis. But here's the part they don't post on Instagram: the panic attacks, the paranoia, the friendships that implode, the nights where you wonder if you're losing your mind. Because real spiritual growth, it's not pretty. It's brutal. It's demolition disguised as awakening. Hi, I'm Paul, and this is Tarot Logic, an analytical approach to intuitive reading. The lie of the glow-up. Modern spirituality sells growth as an upgrade. You meditate, eat kale, light candles, and suddenly, bam, you're enlightened. But the truth? Growth starts with loss. You lose illusions. You lose people who don't align. You lose the version of yourself that kept you comfortable. That's not a glow-up. That's a funeral. Why growth feels like crisis. Psychologists call it ego death. Your brain is wired to protect your identity, even if that identity is toxic. So when you start to shift, your nervous system panics. You're not raising your vibration. You're destabilizing your entire operating system, and yes, it feels like hell. Tarot's brutal honesty. Tarot doesn't sugarcoat growth. It gives you death, the tower, the devil, the cards everyone secretly hopes to avoid. But those cards are the real teachers. They show you the part of growth nobody markets. The collapse, the shadow work, the breakdowns that come before any breakthrough. If spiritual growth were really just good vibes, the tower wouldn't exist. The deck would just be 78 copies of the sun, and readings would be a lot shorter. The shadow work nobody warns you about. Spiritual growth dredges up everything you've avoided. Childhood wounds, toxic relationships, addictions, and obsessions. The parts of yourself you swore weren't there. And when it comes, it doesn't feel like insight. It feels like invasion. The cards are ganging up on you. The universe is picking a fight you can't win. The spiritual bypass trap. This is where most people fail. Instead of facing the ugly side, they bypass it. They say, love and light. Everything happens for a reason. High vibes only. Translation: I refuse to look at my own shadow. That's not growth. That's denial dressed up in angel wings. So how do you survive the ugly phase? Step 1, stop romanticizing it. Don't expect spiritual growth to feel like a yoga retreat. Expect it to feel like demolition. Step 2, use tarot as a witness. When the cards show shadow work, don't argue. Write it down. Sit with it. Let it sting. Step 3, embrace the mess. You're supposed to be a disaster before you're a revelation. That's the point. Now, why does this ruffle feathers? Because nobody wants to admit they're struggling. Spiritual influencers sell the fantasy, glowing, peaceful, aligned. But behind the scenes, Many of them are wrecks, burnt out, disillusioned, and quietly drowning in shadow work. And that's not a flaw. That's the path. The shadow side of spiritual growth isn't pretty. It's ugly. It's raw. It's the part where you think you're failing when in reality, you're finally starting. So if your awakening feels like breakdown, rage, or despair, you're not off track. You're on the only track that matters. If this episode stripped away the fantasy for you, subscribe to Tarot Logic. We don't do love and light fluff here. We do the part of growth that actually hurts, because that's the part that works. Until next time, read with clarity, read with structure, and always read with logic.